Yes, the big night is finally upon us. The UEFA Champions League at Wembley. Madrid up against Borussia Dortmund, with Madrid making a 15th title, or would Dortmund spoil the party later tonight? The focus is definitely the UEFA Champions League, and the guys are set in the studio. We'll be looking at a couple of other stories. Managers, is the season of changing of managers for some clubs, while for others, they have decided to stay put with those they have as a sojourn for the new season. My name is Matthew Kugbe, saying welcome once more to Football Bankers. Bolu is in the studio, as well as the octopus himself, Farouk Adetola. Remember, the show is made possible by One Expert.
You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. OneXBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. OneXBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
Yes, interesting conversations already in the studio. Some persons putting their money for Madrid to make it a 15th title, while for others, it is a night for Dortmund to smile to Germany. Feels great to have you back, Bolu.
Good to be back again. We've seen the UEFA Europa League final. We've seen the UEFA Europa Conference League final. And of course, it has to be the biggest one. Like the Europa guys will say, the biggest masquerade comes last. That's why we have the UEFA Champions League final.
Sure.
Yeah, managers going here and there. And aside that, I think attention now is shifting a little bit towards Nigeria's qualifiers. But of course, we need to settle Champions League matters first. Then we'll come back to that later. Good to be here again.
Well, and the big man himself.
Well, tonight is going to be big. It's going to be huge for Madrid faithfuls. I know that they are very confident. So also are the players. But a night like this can always be defined by fine margin. And Dortmund are in the final for no reasons. They've also played their own part. But Madrid are always going to be the big elephants in the room against any team in the world. That is why they are so confident that they will be taking that trophy back to Bernabeu. And who doubt it? Who has the infantry to go against Madrid when it comes to say, I want to do this? I think tonight is going to be very, very interesting. I'm waiting to see exactly what will happen eventually.
Bolu, before we talk the Champions League, let's look at the Europa League final in retrospect. A Nigerian stole the show. Last week, we never had time. Time never really permitted us to dwell much on the exploits of Ademola Lookman. Those three goals, they were stellar in the final for the first time in the history of the tournament.
I was looking at Nigeria and said Europa League final. I didn't see any Europa League final. I saw Ademola Lookman's final.
Wow.
I saw Ademola Lookman's show.
Wow.
That was an award-winning performance from him. That was an African best performance for him. It took it. Almost everyone would have sworn that Bayer Leverkusen was going to win that. Yeah. But last major title was in '63. And they felt, well, we need to find a way to erase the curse. And guess, comment the Ademola Lookman. When he scored the first goal, the truth, the first goal was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
We thought that was all until we saw another great goal for the second. Then that third goal, I heard people say maybe the keeper could have done better until we saw the replay. Those three goals were, wow, this beautiful goal from Ademola Lookman. And I like how we celebrated with his mom. Now, for you to win the African best player and your name is Ademola Lookman, you need to start next season well. Because as of now, he's definitely at the top of the table.
Wow, interesting. Now let's talk the UEFA Champions League. The focus tonight is everybody want to put their money on Madrid to win, but you can't bet against the Dortmund side. They might just shock you.
Well, first thing for punters, I think it's about 5 odds for Borussia Dortmund to win. So you can go and get your house rent and maybe you put your link. There are no spaces under the bridge anymore. So bet wisely, like they say. But in reality, Real Madrid are beating the three other teams from Germany that qualify for the UEFA Champions League this season. Now they're playing the last one, Borussia Dortmund. Yes, Dortmund are definitely done. Well, like Farouk said, every team against Real Madrid in the Champions League final is definitely an underdog, no matter who you are. But one thing I'm sure of, I think this will be the first Champions League in a while where we'll see more than one goal. The last since I think 2021 has been 1-0 all through the final of 2020, but this time I think it will be different. And the Real Madrid, the last times they played Dortmund, they've done so well. Remember in 2014, Real Madrid also played 3 German sides, defeated all of them all through their journey to the final. This looks at Real Madrid here. 2 players are leaving. For Marco Reus is leaving Borussia Dortmund. He wants to live on the high. But for Toni Kroos, he's retiring completely. He wants to live on the high. Everything seems to be working out well for Real Madrid. Dortmund didn't play last weekend because their league ended a week before that. Will the rest affect them? Like Real Madrid do play their final La Liga game last weekend, whereas I think that squad, the first 11 in that game will be the starting lineup for the final. But it's the final, like they say, anything can happen. But if I'm putting my money on anyone, yes, Dortmund have about 5 votes, but I'm definitely going to put my money on Real Madrid.
And Farouk,
it's going to be spectacular, honestly. Wembley again for Dortmund. Their last experience there was woeful. They didn't win that cup against Robben inspired Bayern Munich there. And they don't get to this final all the time. They have their moments, pick it up and see if they can just also upset the apple cart. Everybody knows that it's Madrid's trophy to lose. They have to just win. They don't have any choice about that. But this Dortmund side, like we have talked about them in the past, they have a set of players that don't fear anybody, from the attackers to the defenders. They play more as a unit. You can never pinpoint a star player in there, and something like that always work well for them. I also realize that they also stopped playing well in the league to focus more on the Champions League, because that's the only thing they can win now they're in the final. Just a game off, like I said against United and City, that nothing that you have done in the past matters. This game is all they have to play for. Madrid have not lost in this Champions League, and they don't have wished to lose in the group stage and win this. That is what the story will be. But I still feel that Madrid are going there like the big brothers, going there with confidence. But I just hope, just like City, who were very overconfident against United, they were in that fight like as if United were not doing anything. I just hope that would also affect Madrid. But in Madrid, they've got a coach who also respects opponents, a coach who have also been everywhere, and also players that have also won it before. I feel that for one reason, Madrid are the favourites any time. But Dortmund will also come and spoil the party. But if you are wise, I want to put the money, whether you like it or not, Madrid is always going to be that team you put your money on. But always leave room for upset in a final like this.
Farouk, let me come to you, Bolu. What must Dortmund do to beat Madrid in this final? Because Madrid, the experience, the clouds, everybody's putting their heart for Madrid.
I listened to Ancelotti's pre-match conference and he spoke about how the team plays in terms of they don't do low block all the time like they did against. But for Borussia Dortmund, you have to do almost the same thing you did against Atletico Madrid. Pick your moments. Remember, they went 2-0 up, sat back and let score. They picked their moments, and that's probably the only way they can. Real Madrid will play more, thanks to the likes of Toni Kroos and the like, thanks to their Jude
and they'll come at you for 90 minutes.
And if they are bringing someone else again, you're coming up with Modric, coming up maybe the Ceballos, talking about the Brahim Diaz and the likes. But for Dortmund, they need to pick moments. The question now is, will they take their moment? The likes of Fulkrug, the likes of Jadon Sancho, the likes of Adeyemi, every moment they have to take their chances. Those will be their best one, because they won't have much. Real Madrid are defending well, and they will likely say Thibaut Courtois in goal as the goalkeeper for them, who is also a brilliant goalkeeper. So for Dortmund to win this game, every opportunity they still must count.
Well, and Farouk, you putting your money on both sides, or
my smart money over Madrid to win? They've done it 14 times in the past. Why would I go for a team that's won it just once? I won't be that stupid. But for Dortmund, honestly, they have to play as if it's just the game of their life. They have been doing that all through the season. Stick to the philosophy. Play more as a unit, build more from defense. Adeyemi, that Nigerian boy, plays as if it's a beast in defense. He runs to the forefront, and he's got a lot of energy to burn because he's currently very, very young. The likes of the midfielders in the guy that played for United last season, Sabitzer, has also brought his experience and A-game to the party. Not forgetting Matt Hummels, who has also led by example defensively. But all of these we are talking about, Madrid have got them even in excess. They're talking about young player with experience.
They have them.
So there's nothing. There's no card they want to play.
Yes, that Madrid counter. Yes,
it's only going to be probably hard luck.
Yes,
for Madrid not to win.
Yes.
But Dortmund have also got a chance, because a team like this that cannot pinpoint what exactly have been doing right or wrong. It's always hard to beat. And I know that Carlo would not give anything for chance. I saw some of his interview talking about what exactly has worked well for them. And I think more of the experienced player showing the boys coming off right about now, also leading and also play their own part too. So Madrid is well arranged. They're like a machine all well. And I think that nothing will go wrong for them.
Interesting take on the UEFA Champions League. Remember, the show is made possible by 1xBet. 1xBet is the best bookmaker in Nigeria as we speak. Every day, millions of players log into the platform to place bets on boxing, football, basketball, and several other sports. So if you haven't registered yet, 1xBet has prepared a unique offer for you with over a 300% increase in just your first deposit. You also stand a chance to get as much as 145,600 naira on that platform. This kind of chance doesn't come up on a daily, so don't miss this great opportunity to start with a win. With 1xBet, you would win if you don't quit. At the other side, we'll be talking Nigeria football, the Super Eagles precisely, as we build up to the World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic. Stick around.
You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
Yes, you're welcome back. It's time to talk the national team, the Super Eagles precisely. We're built up to the game against South Africa on the 7th of June in Uyo, precisely on Friday. But the stage is set. The players, as we speak, are known and they are expected to start reporting to camp just later today. As we speak, players should be in camp because they are expected to start reporting to camp today. 5 days training section before the game proper. But let's look at the lineup. First, with the goalkeeping position, Maduka Okoye is back.
Well, I have always been one of Maduka Okoye's biggest critics. So much that some friends asked me, this still my girlfriend from me. But me, is I felt the way he got into the team was arranged. He wasn't deserving and everything. But based on what he's done with Udinese this season, it would be unfair for me to say he doesn't deserve to get back into the season. These are the things we say. You lose the opportunity, you fight for it and you get it back. He's had a brilliant season with the club side this season and he helped them in their survival for relegation. I remember, it wasn't the first choice, it wasn't the second choice. It was injury that got him into the team and since then he held on to that position. This is the kind of fight back we talk about. Fortunately for Super Eagles, he's definitely going to fight again to get his spot back because there's a certain Stanley Nwabali who did well at the AFCON and Nwabali doesn't look like
and he remains rock solid for his club.
So this is the kind of competition when this is the type of headache that is good for a manager. So I think it's a good call. If there's anyone that I feel maybe you can have a bot for it, but again, something like that.
Have we said our buys to Francis Uzor? Because this is the first time in a while he's missing from the list of the Super Eagles.
He too should fight just like Uzor
to return,
to return to the team. It won't be bad if he has a great form or a great season with the club. Then the coach is now saying, "Who should I drop?" This is the kind of headache. Look at the English national team. Every time they have international, Southgate is always having a headache. This is the type of headache. This is the type of positive problems we want the manager. So I think it's good for him to get back into the team. He's done so well for himself.
Farouk, let's look at the defensive position. We know Captain Fantastic is not in the picture at this time as a result of injury, but we have to lean on the likes of Chidozie Owoazim, Bright Osai Samuel, Sadiq Ismaili, or Oluwashimilogo Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, Benjamin Tiaminu, as well as Kenneth, who came in via the back door, replacing Victor Osimhen.
Well, Kenneth Buki, I was thinking you were going to say Kenneth Omeru.
Yes.
But it's also not in the team any longer. The only question or suspect I've always been asking is Chidozie Owoazim. I don't know exactly what he has been doing in that team for a long time, but he gets called up all the time. Perhaps he's a likely player that can fit in.
Yes.
If the major starters are not playing.
Yes.
And I think he has been a humble guy, a guy that's paid his dues at the Super Eagles. And then once in a while, you need players like that in the national team. Other than that, defense looked very solid. Calvin Bassey had a very good season with Fulham. I know
it's not in the team.
For the other guy is there, Oluwashimilogo
Ajayi, rock solid anytime, any day.
All through the season. But I still feel that we need experience of Trustekong because of injury. We cannot have him. But the only thing I'm relying on is that this is a man that has worked with them for the last 1.5 years. Talking about Finidi Joshua, you know exactly how to motivate them, what exactly you have to do. And then the last event, I think our defense has been solid, so we can just build on that. So for me, no problem at defense.
Now let's look at the midfield. We have Wilfred Ndidi, Raf Onyeka, we have Al Hassan Yusuf, Frank Onyeka himself, Alex Iwobi, and Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Our midfield over time, we've talked about, we don't have that clout. We don't have that strength when it comes to midfielders since the days of a John Mikel Obi.
Well, the midfield has always been a problem in terms of numbers. At least this is one of the most midfield squad we've had in the
Yes.
There's a time under General, I think we had just three
midfielders, yes.
Also, this time we have a few numbers, and it looks like the oldest man in this team has to be Ndidi.
Yes.
So probably this squad.
Yes.
So it feels like he's going to be the captain for the period. But every sensible manager, or many of us have always said that it should have been Ndidi and Alassane Yusuf in the same squad, not either or. Unfortunately, we have both of them now. It's now depending on what the approach Ndidi wants to do. But I think for midfield in terms of creativity, one man that should be playing that position without stress, but he has wrecked his career due to discipline, where in fact he's even in trouble with his club now. I'm talking about Kelechi Nwakali.
Yes.
Similar to Haruna back then too. So like they would say, talent is not enough. But for what we have now, Iwobi definitely has to be the creative man. And what we saw in Dididu with Leicester City in this just concluded season, if he brings that into the team, it means himself and Alassane Yusuf will likely play together with Yusuf standing alone, and they play in the box to box, and of course, Iwobi being the creative midfielder. But whatever happens, I think based on what we have now, can we get more? Yes. We probably should have found a way to get the Berechi Eze's or Luces to the team, but based on what we have, I think it's good enough for now.
Now, Farouk, let's look at what some persons will say happens to be our strength, the forward line. A few names are mixing. Victor Osimhen, you want to say a major miss at this time, because you will need a Victor Osimhen to bring that bullish mentality against the South Africans. Well,
it's an household name in the Super Eagles, and also a man that everybody speaks about first. You know, just like any big team in the world, you know, you go to England, the first one that comes to your mind is Harry Kane. You go to France, it's Mbappe. That's exactly what Victor Osimhen commands in the Super Eagles. Unfortunately, you has cancelled him out from this match. But also, we have players that can also play in that position. And you talked about us having rich ease of forward. We didn't see that at the last Nations Cup. That was supposed to be our strength. Yes. Unfortunately, defensive unit was our strength. Upon that, team was built. But hopefully this time around, Fenendi George was also a very, very attacking wise player. Will change all of that for us. I've always believed that play offensively. If you can outscore your opponent, let them score 7, you score 8. Let them score 20, you score 21. Absolutely. Because that is what we have. That's how Brazil have dominated the world at the World Cup. They don't care about what they have defensive. Even their defenders can also play as an attacker. That's what they have been doing all over. So I just hope we can see that Super Eagles of hold where everybody can always play, chemically together, so that we can see us play offensively. But without Osimhen, it should not be a problem for us against South African Benin.
So, Bolu, we're looking at Nathan Taylor, Kelechi Iheanacho, Samuel Chukwueze, Paul Anuachu, Ademola Lookman, Victor Boniface, as well as Terence Murphy. If you are the manager, how will you file out?
Well, first of all, Paul Anuachu, the guy's destiny should just remain in Germany.
Yes.
Every time
because it seems to have.
I saw one of the goals is called this.
The
ball from the midfield
was beautiful.
But I hope we'll be able to use his strength, because I will never understand why we'll have a tall player and we never cross in the ball. Then why do you have Paul Anuachu in the squad? But obviously, if they are playing front three, the two men that almost certainly going to play has to be Victor Boniface and of course Ademola Lookman. Both of them are probably front runners for African best player. The question now is who joins them? How does he want to play? If he's playing two of them up front with a man behind them, Nathan Taylor can do the job. Kelechi Iheanacho on his good day can do that job. And sometimes you can decide to play a tall and a not too tall player, talking about Paul Anuachu and so. But I think that should be a backup plan. In case maybe the guys are not working well, you switch that. One of the things that work well for the best managers are when they know when to switch at the right time. I'll let's go back to Man City 2 years ago when Real Madrid won the Champions League. Ancelotti will go for possession base. If it doesn't work, bring in the young boys, left out, throw our opposition. And like Farouk said, the only way to win is outscore your opposition. Keeping clean sheet is important, but more importantly, outscoring your opposition. So I think any of those guys can play, and any of them will still give us brilliant display. We saw what Nathan Taylor did with the few minutes he played at the last AFCON, and people were like, "Oh, why didn't this boy play early? Why didn't the coach use him more?" It means people could see that this guy is useful. But for now, I think two players are certainly going to start. Ademola Lookman and Victor Boniface. The third question now is who will join them? Whoever joins them could be maybe Taylor could do the job, or Onuachu could do the job, and of course Kelechi Iheanacho, senior man, could also do the job.
Finally, should we be under any kind of pressure playing against South Africa?
I don't think so. We played against them some few months ago, and I think that we gave a good account of ourselves, in spite of us being deficient one way or the other. According to what the coach said after the tournament, that if we had Boniface, perhaps we would have played differently. Now we have Boniface, we have everybody except Victor Osimhen. So I think that's the match that it's no brainer. We don't have any reason to go in there with doubts in our mind, because 3 points or nothing. We get less than that, then definitely we are starting to bring in out the calculators as early as the third game or fourth. So for me, go in there. South Africa have always been our wife, and they'll continue to be. Once in a while they get victory, but I don't think they've been beating us in a very competitive game. So I just hope that Finidi inspires them. He played against South Africa in his own time. They were never beaten. So why would he tell these boys that are about the best in Africa right about now not to go in there? South Africa plays with home-based players. So yes, the chemistry is there for them. but I feel we have something that is better than them playing together, experience, exposure, and also our coach also needs to let them know that I have done this before. It's now on you guys to also get the result. And 2 points from 6 points is not good enough for us. 6 points down for us to just go back to the top of the table and start thinking of the National World Cup. The last one we missed cost so many people. So many people. You know what I'm talking about?
I was among them.
Interesting.
Not only you, I did among as well.
Yes,
we don't want to start, calculating.
Rooting like that. Yeah, we are absolutely rooting for the Super Eagles. We hope they start with a win against South Africa. Finidi George has said he wants to ensure that Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup. As Bolu has always said on the show since he was appointed, win your first 2 games and you have Nigerians solidly behind you.
Absolutely.
Coaches are moving, changing clubs at this time. You expect players to be moving at this time, but coaches seems to have taken the center stage. We'll be talking plenty of European football at the other side.
You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
Yes, so welcome back. The show is still Football Bankers. The regulars are still in the studio. We've dwelled more on the Super Eagles. We've looked at the build-up to the Champions League final later tonight. And it's time to talk plenty of transfers. Coaches have been moving. But quickly, let's let you in that the show is made possible by 1xBet. 1xBet is one of the best bookmakers in Nigeria as we speak. Every day, millions of players log on the platform to place bets on boxing, football, basketball, and several other sports. If you haven't registered yet, the platform has made available a unique offer for you with over 300% increase in just your first deposit. You also stand a chance to receive as much as 145,600 naira if you are on the platform. This kind of chance doesn't come on a daily, so don't miss this great opportunity to start with a win. With 1xBet, you would win if you don't quit. Bolu, let's look at the movement of coaches at this time. Chelsea has decided to stay back in England, but this time around they are grabbing the manager of Leicester City.
Well, it feels like they're getting someone they can speak with, someone they can control. Leicester did so well.
What's this thing about control? What's this thing?
I saw some things from Man United that sport director will be the ones talk about playing salary. It seems clubs now want coaches and no managers.
Wow.
I hope it won't backfire later. But based on Maresca's antecedents, based on his last job, talking about Leicester, he did well. But the ego of these Chelsea younglings are definitely different from Leicester. But let's see how far he will do starting from the preseason.
Is this the best man for the job? Let's stay with you at this. Is this the best man? Because I thought since Tuchel is available, you would have opted for Tuchel. Make a return to the club and let's see how it works.
Well, they said they wanted a younger manager, a young person. Tuchel is just 1 or 2 years under Pochettino. So, like I said, Leicester played a different brand of football last season. We saw a different type of Ndidi going box to box. Ndidi scored the most goals in his career in the season just this past campaign. Kelechi Iheanacho also did well. The question is, can he bring all this ego together in Chelsea? Because Chelsea have many young players who, for whatever reason, have been doing how they want. But I think he would do well to our next time, but doing well is relative. What do they hope to achieve? Do they want to make the Champions League? Do they want to make win the Premier League? Target will now determine how far they can rate him. But for now, I think he can do enough to maybe make Europe. I don't know whether Europa League or the Champions League, but one thing is certain: if Pep remains next season in the Premier League, he's still the favorite to win the league.
But Bolu, let's look at it this way. If you look at the ranks at this time, coaches who were at some point understudied Pep are beginning to take that saddle. If you look at Arsenal, look at what Arteta is doing. Look at him also coming to the radar, and a couple of other major coaches in Europe who had at some point understudied Pep.
But technically, you will still call Alonso as well. Alonso played
played under him.
Company now who is going to buy him.
Yes, played under him.
Who has gone to buy him. Also played under him. The truth is, you may have Pep's agenda, Pep's idea, everything in your head. But the question is, do you have Pep's mind? Do you have his clout? Wow. Do you have his confidence? Do you have Pep's control, which is the most important thing?
Wow.
Can you survive what Pep will survive for all through the season? Those are the big questions. But let's see how far his proteges will do this time. At least, not that Alonso directly worked under him as a manager, but he played under him. Company ended his career under Pep Guardiola. Maresca now, we did well with Leicester City. Let's see how far all of them can go. But if you all play against Pep in the Premier League, forget it.
Farouk, let's look at Vincent Kompany quickly, the new gaffer of Bayern. When this announcement was made, I said, man, has Bayern gotten to this level? Because I feel a Vincent Kompany has not gotten to the level of being the gaffer of Bayern at this time.
It's really I've wrapped my head around and I don't seem to have any conclusion. The only thing I'm just thinking about is that this company that Bayern Munich have built, I hope it's not going to be another company
Yes.
that will come and wreck everything for them. I hope not. But everybody seems to be going that way of younger managers now. I think it's something that every club are trying to do. You know, like we said, Pep is going to be the oldest manager in the Premier League now from next season. He's going to be always there according to the number of years he has spent. But back to Kompany, I think that they're not signing for what he has done. They are signing for the way he plays. Perhaps the experience has gathered other coaches like Kompany and also under Pep, and perhaps the way he plays. He likes to play from the back, you know, control the game, have more possession, and that is what Bayern are also after. But we only want to say that a lot of top coaches have rejected Bayern Munich, and they don't want to go that way of saying, let's chase those that have made names for themselves. Let's go for those that are willing to make new names for themselves. And Kompany is one of such. Perhaps he gets an opportunity and works well for him, but it is more likely that he's going to struggle for a start in a very different environment, you know, as a top manager. Because we're talking about the top clubs in the world. Honestly, I don't want to see anywhere you want to look at it. Bayern Munich will slot into top 5 clubs in the world, and that's what Kompany has got to do. And for me, I don't envy him at this point in time. I just hope he doesn't fail there, because it's a still club that's on the downward spiral, finished third in the Bundesliga, and also had a very poor DFB Pokal as well as the Champions League. Hopefully, it will just get the back, but I doubt that.
Wow, interesting in-depth analysis from the guys, but we just have to say our byes, but not now at the other side of the show. Stay around.
Multiple award categories. How do you stay winning?
Simple. I keep my eyes on the game.
Well, it's time to say our byes. Bolu, I've really enjoyed myself listening to you and Farouk.
Well, it's interesting to always be with men, them, like they say, the local balance. Hopefully, by the time we come back next week, I will be celebrating Apollo 15.
Yeah, Madrid winning. You guys are just
just take your mind off.
You guys are just so confident. Farouk was saying about it.
Well, it's been interesting, honestly. I've had fun. You know, at times when you don't talk about too much of analysis of football and talk about other matters, it becomes more interesting. Talking about coaches that are moving, and that season we heard about now. Trust your guys to give you all of the latest, you know, transfer here and there, and definitely I've enjoyed my time here with Bolu. Hopefully, Bolu, we are coming next week. Once Madrid don't win, now party time in the studio.
Absolutely.
I beg Matthew, let him know. We are going to party here in the studio with Bolu.
I trust Matthew, man. That's why it's winning.
What do you mean? This man, calm down, this man. Don't go there.
At all.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Come with Dortmund destination.
Interesting. And we hope next time, when we resume, by the time we convene for next episode, Ten Hag would have been sacked.
I don't think so.
Ten Hag would have been sacked.
I think if they would have,
because you won the FA Cup, Farouk.
See, at times you have to also once the season has already sunk in me, and I've thought about everything. I feel that the best thing to do is just to retain him for another season. You sack him, bring in another new manager. The players feel as if they are much more in power. But let him stick in. Players are already leaving. Get players out and bring in new players for him, and have a pattern of play. And hopefully, players cease of injury. Now see the best of Ten Hag.
Farouk, sign out with this. Is Ten Hag still the man for the job, Bolu?
For banter, yes, but for reality, no.
Interesting. That's the size of the show. We'll see you next week. I remain Matthew Okugbe. Bye for now.